Mm, yes. And earlier, man, you said one of the key roles in the black community, the preacher, right? In America, church and state are supposed to be separate. However, even growing up here in Atlanta, every election cycle, you'll start seeing people like Victor Hill, or you'll see the mayors coming into the church during church service. What role has the black church played when it comes to us being brainwashed with propaganda of voting blue, no matter who?
Are you a dope creative looking to further monetize your content? Well, let me tell you about Peep. Peep is the best new revolutionary platform for creatives by creatives. You can set custom pricing for your content where you can get the full monetization for what you do. On top of that, you can set custom payment dates so you don't have to wait till the 21st of the month like YouTube. You can get paid when you want, how you want. And on top of that, you can meet with fellow creatives that are doing similar things such as you to take what you do to the next level. I'm telling you guys, Peep is what's next. Unlike Patreon, you can customize each piece of your content, every episode, every song, BTS content, photography, videography, and so much more. If you're ready to get started, you can use this QR code right here and also the link in my bio. And every single time that you refer fellow creatives, you can monetize that as well. I'm telling you guys, Peep is what's next. Tap in, and I cannot wait to see you guys over there. Peace.
Well, let's go back to the original role of the black preacher on the plantation. He was
Right.
meant to calm us down. He was
Mm,
meant to get us to believe, hey, we can just go to heaven. We'll have a great life.
yep.
Obey your masters. They were there to reinforce racism, white supremacy through the Bible, right? Remember, the slaves couldn't even have the full Bible. They
Nope.
talked about the slave Bible where they took out Exodus and all different things like that.
Yes.
So the black preacher, you fast forward today, because I'm not saying the preachers now, the preachers during the civil rights movement. I don't even say that some of the preachers, maybe when I was growing up, they wouldn't do these things. When you got a guy like Raphael Warnock talking about he supports abortion,
Mm,
I mean, I remember back in the day if a guy would have said that, man, the deacons and all them would have tar and feathered him out that church.
mm,
Okay. So when you got guys saying things like that, they are also gatekeepers for the plantation as well to keep black people just in what I call the default setting. Now, the default setting for black people is at the bottom. You're voting. You're supposed to only vote Democrat. You don't supposed
yep.
to ask for anything. You're basically still in
Yep.
the position of a slave. Because slaves don't you don't serve a slave, but slaves serve. That's why black people are pressured to support other groups' causes because hey, you a slave, but you don't get nothing back in return. And when you start demanding something, everybody, hey, you don't supposed to be asking for nothing. We got other problems going on right now. We got the migrants, we got the Ukrainians, we got what's going on with Israel Hamas.
Yep.
We got all these different things going on right now. Y'all not important. Well, because they
Mm,
think of you as a doggone slave. And that black
wow.
preacher assists them into keeping you on that mindset of a plantation. That's why they say a plantation because it's literally plantation politics.
Wow.
I was so happy during the pandemic. Do you know why?
Probably because you had peace. You could be to yourself. Is that probably why?
Yeah, I got peace normally, but
Yeah. Why is that? Oh,
because they shut
everybody
those
save
churches
money?
down. They shut
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
churches
Yeah. Yeah.
down. Now, I'm
Yeah.
not a heathen. No, I'm not a heathen
Yeah.
by a long shot. I believe in God. I pray everything else. But
Right.
but them preachers wasn't siphoning the billions of dollars a week out of the black community.
Every
Uh,
Sunday.
uh, uh,
Yeah.
like I said, people realize, hey, if I wanted some church, I can do that in my house,
Mm-hmm.
and that was just a beautiful thing. Now, most of those churches are 501c3. If you
Yep.
look at the rules of the IRS, you don't supposed to do no political advocacy in order to be a 501c3. See, if I
Mm,
had to be president, I would check every church and see if they advocated for any political group. And if they did, I would say that IRS strip their status. Now you back to paying taxes. You can
mm.
advocate, but you're gonna need to pay taxes.
That changes the ball game overnight.
Oh yeah.
Migrant, the migrant crisis, it is a very crazy thing that's going on right now. Of course, people see all the clips that's happening in Colorado. You see clips in Chicago. For Black people that I've seen firsthand, anytime that we would be against people being able to cross the border and not doing it legally, people would automatically try to paint you as a Trump supporter, as a right winger, all of that. How do you feel right now about migrants crossing over the border illegally right now?
Um, It shouldn't be happening. Let me ask you a question. In Atlanta, you do something illegal, what happened to you?
You get arrested every time.
Uh-huh. And go where?
Yeah. You go straight to jail. Go to
Okay.
Rice
So
Street.
you got other men, and I talk about the military age male more than anybody else. You
Yeah.
got military age males crossing the border, breaking the law, committing actual crimes in cities. But if you badly jaywalk, Atlanta police is on you. So how come they can break the law, but we can't? And I'm not advocating for us to break laws, but I'm
Right.
saying if you're gonna sit up here and let them break the law and leave us alone, then
Had to
you
be
understand what I'm
fair.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's number one. Number
Yeah.
two, on top of them breaking the law, you giving resources, you're taking resources from taxpayers and giving it to people who didn't pay a single tax in this country, who didn't fight in any wars, who didn't fight in any conflicts, who didn't build this nation like Black Americans. We built it, didn't build this nation, nothing. But you won't give Black Americans reparations, but you literally taking our money that could be reparations and handing it to the migrants. And then you mentioned about what people saying you're a Trump supporter if you say that. So advocating for self-preservation in your community is a Trump supporter. Okay, then I'm a Trump supporter. Then I don't care. See, that's another thing that we got to stop doing is that if somebody say you're a Trump supporter, and you know my response to that. And if I was supporting Trump, what would you do about it? What would you
Yeah.
do?
Yep.
That don't bother me if you're talking about a Trump supporter. So what?
Mm, mm. Yeah. Hey, that's facts, Phil.
There's a
That's
lot of Black
facts,
people that
man.
support Trump right now. Believe it or not,
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah.
I mean, we vote policy, not party, not
Yeah.
personality. Policy. This is a business transaction. It's
Yeah.
business. And you know,
Yeah.
in business, you may not like the guy you're dealing with.
It's
You
not
work
personal.
jobs where you got a supervisor. You
Yeah.
know he doggone racist. Did you
Yeah.
quit your job?
You can't. Nah. Hey, you
Why?
can't quit every job. Yeah. Hey, you
Okay,
still got to make your money. You still got
you got to make your
responsibilities.
money, right?
Yep.
Okay, take that same logic with
With
politics.
politics. Yeah.
Long as I'm getting what I need, listen, I don't care if you're the Grand Wizard of the Klan. If you giving
It's
me something
transaction.
for Black people, I
Yeah.
don't care about you. Long as you don't
Yeah.
disrespect me. You don't
Yeah.
come to my house doing nothing. You ain't got no business. But if you papering up my community, because look, at the end of the day, young brother, it's about our pocketbook. All
Yeah.
that first this, first that, man. We need money.
Hmm. Yes, sir. To your point, how can we do a better job overall as a community of separating emotions from politics? Because I noticed Kamala Harris, oh, she looks like me. She makes me feel good. Donald Trump, he makes me uncomfortable. He's the boogeyman. But instead, how do we say, okay, policy for policy, who do I like? And not, I don't care on a personal level how they make me feel. What can they actually do for me instead?
Well, what I've learned over the years is that you're gonna have to just go with the tribe that's gonna rock with you. You can't save everybody. You just
Right.
can't. And I'm not going to, and I'm not gonna waste my breath to. Some people are just gonna have to wither on the vine. And I'm okay with that. But you speak that message about, hey, we looking for policy. Um, Skin color don't impress me like that because we've had
Yeah.
Black representation for 60 years.
Yeah.
Look at where we at today. Look where we at. I just saw a story where in 2022, a Venezuelan migrant family came to Chicago and they were staying at the police station. They just now walked into a brand new home that they bought. A church helped them buy a brand new home, and they got access to first time home buyer loans and things like that too. While you have Black Americans talking about the first this, the first that, right? We talking about in Chicago, but you got people in Chicago who've been living there for so many years and can't even own a home. But
Yeah.
a Venezuelan migrant family could come and get a home in 2 years. Two
Wow.
years. Two. Okay. So I don't care about you being Black at this point, because look at our representation. I don't care about you being a woman, because look at our representation. We had Black men and Black women represent us. Look at our representation.
Yeah.
So I need a policy. And if a white person got the policy, I'll go with him or her. If it's an Asian person, Arab person, East Indian, if it's a Black person, I'll go with whoever got the best policy that's going to benefit the Black community. Period. And if you're not going to benefit the Black community, don't worry about it. I'm just not going to vote for you.
On that standpoint, during this time, Black people's pockets are hurting. You see it outside, or you see people just talking in regular conversations where it's harder for young adults to buy a home, get
Mhm.
cars, start a family. You have middle-aged people, even Gen Xers, having to change careers or just jobs and salaries not paying enough. Our community, how can we do better of, I would say, just stimulating our own economy? And of course, pushing it towards when it comes to on a government level as well, but also in the meantime, how can we better support ourselves during this critical time?
Well, the first thing we need to do is not make the same mistake of putting the same politics back in office that created this problem.
Right.
The Biden Harris administration created this problem because during the Trump administration, we didn't have this problem.
Yeah, for
When they
sure.
got in office and when all those problems got started, brother.
Hmm.
Okay, so you would be boo boo the fool if you go vote for Vice President Kamala Harris. You want 8 years of this? And I tell black people this: you go put her in office, watch where black folks be as a collective after those 4 years.
Wow.
Oh, you be thinking this was a good time, right? But the other thing you was asking, black people got to just work with each other. We got to have families again, right?
Yeah.
We got to say all this being single, all that mess, messing with this one, messing with that one, sleeping with this one, sleeping with that one. The reason, listen, two people working together is better than one. Two incomes put together is better than one. Being single is getting to a point like it's being a luxury now.
Yeah.
Some people can't afford to be single no more. Some people gonna be homeless because they're single.
Wow.
So you're gonna have to start working with a woman and a man and getting back together and making a family like our grandmothers and great grandfathers did. And we got to work together, families, and then as a community, work together as a community to build something. Of course, with like-minded people.
Come on. Man, that's good talk right there. The Black family, right? Of course, during this time period, and I already know that you probably already see it all the time, you see this great divide between Black men and Black women, especially when it comes to politics right now. You try to critique Kamala Harris, you're a Black man going against Black women. And I can see the Democratic Party, it was a genius pushing this because now any person that tries to critique her, you're against Black women. But for me, that shows the overall microcosm of our Black family structure right now of Black men being against Black women, right? How can we try to mend those fences of Black men taking over their homes, leading their homes, and being one with the Black woman as well with the Black child?
Well, that talking point about, well, if you don't support Kamala Harris, then you hate black women. Well, that's not a black woman. So
Mm.
that's an East Indian woman. She
Wow.
she was not she was not raised from the soil. She
Mm.
is not a descendant of slaves. Now her father, say he's Jamaican, right? She was even raised in Jamaica to have at least a Jamaican upbringing. She was raised to be East Indian, so she's East Indian in the mind, and that's why she's awkward like that. Not that I'm not talking about Indian people, but I'm saying in relation to how we are. She's
Right.
she's not. I'm sorry, she's not a black woman. A black woman would be Michelle Obama. That's a black woman.
Yeah.
Jasmine Crockett, that's a black woman, right?
Yeah.
She's not a black woman. So that's first and foremost. Look at her history with black people, locking black people up for marijuana, laughing about locking parents up because of truancy. I mean, what kind of black woman would do that, right? Your sister girl. But so when it comes to that kind of Democrat, ta- no, just don't worry about that. Um, it just goes back to men just taking the lead, and men don't have to ask questions. A lot of the women are waiting on men to take the lead, right?
Right.
So it's like with the Democrat Party. A lot of black men walked away. Do you know what's happening now? 'Cause a lot of black men walked away. Have you seen the
What's that?
difference? A lot of
Mm.
black women are going with them.
Mm.
A lot of them are. And you're seeing more and more black women saying that speaking against the Democrat Party more than I've ever seen. And I've been doing this for 12 years. I've never seen this many black women speaking against the Democrat Party.
Mm.
So I wouldn't say the talking heads, like, those in the Boule, your Angela Rise and all them, they don't represent black women. They don't. But the average rank and file black woman, they're opening their eyes too. Trust me. There's a lot of black women that have opened their eyes. And a lot of black women also are realizing the Democrat Party has always tried to keep a wedge between brothers and sisters in the
Yeah.
community, but they don't put a wedge in front of no other community except ours. And people are waking up to that.
Yes, sir. And Phil, there's gonna be somebody in the comments they're going to ask, what do we want from the Democratic Party? What would you say to that question?
What I want from the U.S. government, not the Democrat Party.
Hmm.
U.S. government is the one that had sanctioned slavery and all of that. So what we want from the U.S. government, it's the same thing you giving everybody else. A great thing to do with black people is the same thing you giving the Native Americans. You can give black people. You can give us
Right.
reparations. You can give us tax-free status. You can give us land. You can give us different allocations. That's at minimum. You can just give us the same program Native Americans got. You can